I can't think of any part of my life that it didn't affect, because the whole 38 years of my life came after the NDE.
After this experience, my marriage failed, and that was a very traumatic experience, and having to let that go, that was painful. That was the most painful thing I went through.
Going to college later was like a tremendous shutting down. And I even changed my major. I was studying political science, and there was just too much that didn't ring right. So I switched to psychology because it seemed to be more open, but it was behaviorism, and it was just putting people in a box. And I came to psychology because, you know, I was looking for a way to help people. But the educational process was so antithetical to what I knew to be true.
Working a job, a traditional job, as they say, is very difficult for me. I hate going to work. I know I have to earn a living, keep a roof over my head, but it's not where my heart belongs. So much of the games that are played in the corporate world, I just can't stand it. I never could. I don't feel like I belong because I don't play in the clique area. The not fitting in, the not belonging, because it's so difficult being here, knowing what's on the other side.
I was racing race cars just before that happened, and I wanted to be a professional race car driver. And after this happened, I didn't want to be a professional race car driver anymore. I didn't want to you know, I had absolutely no interest in physical objects anymore. Like being money and cars and all those things that I used to think were so wonderful, and this fame and fortune was so nothing compared to what I had seen. And so it really made me just go phooey on the human, you know, the so-called human goals are what we're, you know, the perfect family life, or, you know, being this successful person. I had no desire to be a successful person.
And then it becomes like, well, how can I have a real job? Or how do I maintain the everyday realities of being in a body and having a job or a business or something? It completely throws me off kilter. So I'm continually challenged with the economic reality of, okay, now I'm a freak, now this happened to me, now what? Nobody recognizes, they just say, well, go get a job. It's just not that easy. You just can't. It's like you're dysfunctional or disabled in many ways, and super abled in others.
I had a really hard time with religion after that. I had a really hard time with religion because there's no finger pointing in that. There's no, you did bad things and you're going to be held accountable for them. And so all I knew is that when I was in that energy, it was complete love and it was complete acceptance, and there was nothing bad that ever happened. And so when I come back, my beliefs of this religion or this God, and my grandma was this very, she was like a hellfire and damnation type thing, you know, if you do something bad, you're going to pay for it with God. And so my whole belief towards religion at that point is just smashed.
And after the experience, I felt, look, I don't need that anymore. You know, you get a confirmation in your experience that God loves you, no matter what you do, even if you don't fulfill A, B, C, D, and E. I mean, it's it's not that demanding.
So many people don't want to hear about it, and it's so important. For some reason, we don't want to deal with death. And I think it's so light that I joke about it, and people don't even understand that.
I've had issues with people who say, you know, how can you rejoice in death? It's a sad thing. And what I've been given as a gift is to explain what death is. And one of the reasons why I died is so that I could understand that. And maybe I could put into words, or maybe I could put into my actions what that's about.